All right, if you're building with AI, you definitely know this feeling. Your agent, it's an absolute genius in the lab, but what happens when it actually meets the real world? That is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Today, we're going to break down how to choose the right AI evaluation and observability platform, a decision that can honestly make or break your entire product.
Yeah, this is the problem, the one that keeps AI teams up at night. Your agent is a total star performer during development, but the real world, it's messy. It's unpredictable, and making sure your AI doesn't just survive, but actually thrives out in the wild, well, that's the challenge we're going to tackle head-on.
So let's get on the same page. What are we really talking about here? AI evaluation and observability, it's not some one-time check. Think of it as a continuous cycle of testing, monitoring, and diagnosing your agents to make absolutely sure they're reliable, they're high quality, and they are ready for whatever the world decides to throw at them.
And here's how we're going to guide you through it. We've set this up like a decision funnel. We'll start by really understanding the AI reliability gap. Then we'll lay out the core dimensions you need to compare. We'll put the top platforms head-to-head, give you a solid framework for making your own choice, and then we'll wrap up with why this all gives you a serious strategic advantage.
All right, first up, the AI reliability gap. We have to really get this because for any product powered by AI, the stakes are just incredibly high.
You know, think of it like a bridge. On one side, you've got your perfectly controlled lab, and way over on the other side is the chaos of the real world. The right platform, it isn't just a tool to get you across that gap. No, it's your command center for navigating all that unpredictability, making sure your AI becomes a truly reliable partner for your users.
So how do you make a smart choice? You need a framework, right? We've broken it all down into 5 key dimensions that you can use to evaluate pretty much any platform out there.
So here they are, the big 5. First, observability. I mean, can you actually see what's happening under the hood? Second, evaluation. How rigorously can you test your agent? Third is prompt management. How are you optimizing your prompts? Fourth, and this is a big one, enterprise readiness. Does it meet your security and compliance needs? And finally, pricing. Does the cost model actually make sense for your team?
All right, now for the main event. We're putting 4 of the leading platforms under the microscope: Maxim AI, Arize Phoenix, Langfuse, and LangSmith. Let's see how they really stack up across our 5 dimensions.
Kicking things off with observability. You'll see pretty much everyone covers the basics, things like distributed tracing, but where they really start to diverge is in the production-focused features. Maxim AI, for example, offers things like real-time alerts and an LLM gateway. And those are absolutely crucial for teams that need to diagnose issues instantly. Now, the other platforms might need a bit more custom work for that, which could be a perfect fit if your team prefers a more modular open-source setup.
Okay, next up, agent simulation and evaluation. And this is where it gets interesting. While all the platforms have ways to evaluate your agent, the depth really varies. If you're building complex, multi-turn agents, you'll see Maxim AI has a super comprehensive suite of tools, like multi-turn simulation and API endpoint testing. LangSmith, on the other hand, is a master of deep debugging, but specifically within the LangChain ecosystem, so it's perfect if you're heavily invested in that framework. The key here is just matching the platform's power to your agent's complexity.
And when it comes to prompt management, look, everyone's got versioning covered. That's table stakes. But what if you're building these really complex prompt chains that use external tools? That's where something like Maxim AI's visual editor and sandbox testing comes in. It's awesome for teams that need a more visual integrated workflow. But then you have Langfuse, which gives you this super robust open-source prompt management that you can customize like crazy, a totally different kind of flexibility.
Enterprise readiness. For a lot of folks, this is an absolute deal breaker. If you're working in a regulated industry, you'll notice Maxim AI has the most comprehensive compliance coverage right out of the box. But for many teams, SOC 2 is the main thing you need, and you'll find that across most of these platforms. The choice here really just comes down to your specific industry and how you handle data.
And of course, let's talk money, pricing. The models basically fall into 2 camps. On one side, you've got Arize Phoenix, Langfuse, and LangSmith, which are mostly usage-based. This can be great when you're just starting, but the costs can get unpredictable pretty fast. On the other side, Maxim AI uses a hybrid model. It's mainly seat-based, which gives you predictable costs that don't punish you for running tons of evaluations. That makes it really good for bigger, collaborative teams at scale.
So, we've seen how these platforms stack up, feature by feature. Now I want to zoom in on Maxim AI for a second, just to see how it brings all these different pieces together into a single, unified workflow.
The whole idea here is what people call a single pane of glass. Maxim AI pulls together your prompt management, your simulation, your evaluation, and your observability all into one integrated platform. It's designed from the ground up for those really complex, multi-turn AI agents that we're seeing more and more of. And it's all wrapped in deep enterprise security with real-time production alerting.
And look, this unified approach, it delivers real results. Just check out this number from MindTickle, one of Maxim AI's customers. A 76% improvement in productivity. They cut their time to production from 21 days down to just 5. That's what it means when your platform isn't a bottleneck but a genuine feature enabler.
Okay, we've seen the comparison. Now let's turn the focus back to you. How do you actually make the right decision for your specific team and your project?
Here's a simple 5-point checklist to walk through. First, what's your scale? Are you a small startup or a big enterprise? Second, what are your compliance needs? Are you handling sensitive data like HIPAA? Third, how complex are your agents? Do you need really deep multi-turn evaluations? Fourth, do you want a managed SaaS solution or do you prefer to self-host? And finally, what's your budget and which pricing model really fits your growth plans?
So based on that checklist, we can make some pretty clear recommendations. You should probably choose Arize Phoenix if you really prioritize open source flexibility for basic monitoring. Go with Langfuse for a fantastic open source tracing and prompt tool, especially if you're on a smaller team. And if your entire world revolves around the LangChain framework, then LangSmith is basically tailor-made for you.
So when is Maxim AI the right choice? Well, it's for teams that need that unified end-to-end workflow we talked about. It's for people building those sophisticated multi-turn agents. It's for organizations where enterprise-grade security and compliance are just absolutely non-negotiable. And it's for teams that need advanced real-time evaluation and monitoring to ship with total confidence.
All right, let's wrap this up with the final takeaway. Because this isn't just about picking a tool, it's about securing a real strategic advantage for your business.
Let's bring it all back home. Remember that gap between the lab and the real world? The right platform doesn't just bridge it, it turns it into a competitive advantage. It directly impacts your product's reliability, your team's speed, and your edge in the market. The goal isn't finding the one best platform. It's about finding the one that is the best for your team and your goals.
And that leaves us with one final question for you and your team. I want you to look at your current stack and ask yourselves this. Is our AI tooling a feature enabler, or is it a future bottleneck? The answer to that question could really define your success in the years to come. Thanks for joining us.